guys, this is Dorothy with Done by Dorothy, and we are here today. We are finishing up our Mira Nature Journal, and we've did a lot in the last weeks. I mean, just building it up, and it's getting really close to the end. And when we did most of it, I went through, I resorted the postcards and the ATC cards that we had and spread them out throughout all three journals so they all weren't, you know, stuck in one journal. So I got all of that finished, and I thought I would do sort of a different video type thing. So first, before I get started, remember to like, comment, subscribe, hit the bell if you want notified anytime that a video goes live. You know, share with your friends, all that wonderful stuff. So let's get on. Let's get going and get started. I am really excited to do this. This is sort of one of my more favorite things to do. I am a big thrift store. I love thrift stores. I love yard sales, estate sales, Goodwills, you know, all of that jazz. I love that kind of thing. Love it. Antique stores, you know, anything like that. And we always find things. We get things there. You know, we get things through Happy Mail when we do swaps. You know, and sometimes you're like, you get it and you're sort of like, well, what do I do with this? Or, you know, you're not sure what to do with it, you know, that type of thing. So today we're going to deal with repurposing items we've received or bought, like either from thrift stores, Goodwills, through Happy Mails, that sort of thing. So these are two tags. I'm going to start out with these that I got in a Happy Mail. I believe Susan Varley Ketchum is where they came from. And I'll sort of go over basically just telling you how that they were done. These were cut from, it looks like 110-pound white cardstock. These were actually cut by a die. I can tell by the imprint on the back. So they were just cut with a die, which, I mean, you wouldn't necessarily have to do them by a die. You could just do, you know, a standard tag. They were gessoed. Then they were inked. It appears with a green ink, just very lightly over the top, like, you know, blended very well with some darker areas. Then it looks like they took like a vintage photo and stamped some music onto the background, some text, you know, some script, and then they've just taken a stamp, you know, a couple different plant stamps and stamped over it. And when they did it, you know, die cut it, it's already cut the hole. So we're going to sort of switch these up. This is sort of what I was playing around with earlier. This was the same exact tag. It looked just like these, except that's what it looks like now. So, you know, I sort of played around with it because, you know, we're doing the whole nature theme. And I thought butterflies, I love butterflies. Although I do, as I look at this, we have so much, the tones, the undertones, the gold and everything in here. I don't really like how white that my butterfly is. So I'm just going to really lightly hit it with some vintage photo ink and just sort of take that bright, stark white away. There we go. Yeah, see, I like that a lot better. It just sort of took that shine, almost a glare, away from it. So that's what we're gonna do. So let me walk through simply what I did on here. I put a grommet in using my crocodile. This is just some yarn that I had. It's vintage yarn. Then I took, this is a piece of tea-dyed. I just took pinking shears, cut a rectangle out, inked around the edges. I just tore and ripped a piece that I had left over of, let me see if I can find a piece of that. It was a piece of, anyway, that the scraps from the collage paper that we had. And I ripped a scrap of that off. I cut a piece of doily out, you know, used Fabri-Tac, glued all of those down, inked around my butterfly. This is a Tim Holtz Ideology Botanical Layers is what this was, that it came. And I just inked it up and glued it on there. Inked the back a little bit around the outside edges, and that tag went from just like that to that. So I'm going to go ahead and do these, and my fashion, the way that I do it, is I sort of like to I do assembly line style. You know, like if I'm doing this, you know, if I'm going to get my tools out, then, you know, I will do several of them at a time. So I'm going to go ahead and pull out my grommets here, and I'm using gold grommets because there's so many gold undertones. And I have a crocodile. This is a 2, the big bite, and it's super simple. You know, you just push it and it does the grommet. Makes it so much simpler. I was using the hand pliers before and it was all I could do. I sort of have like carpal tunnel in my wrist, and I just squeezing those pliers just kill me. So I'll try to do this sideways. It may not be as easy. So you just lay your grommet in your hole, and then let me try to see if I can get this where it'll, okay. And then you have your different settings up here. You switch it to whatever hole size you need. And then there's if you see the little hill right there on the bottom, you're just gonna lay your tag or whatever paper that you have around there and your grommet over top of that. Let me see if I can get in there and do that where you can, I'm not gonna be able to do it sideways where you can see it, but you lay it on there, and then while your grommet's there, you just take your handle and squeeze, and that's it. It's so much simpler than the pliers, and I'll show you. It's super fast. So I just lay my grommet on there, and then I just push, boom, and it's done. That's all there is to it. So I'll go ahead and do the other one too. So if you haven't, you know, experienced, you know, a big bite versus hand pliers, you know, if you don't have any problems with your wrist or anything, then, you know, by all means use the hand pliers. But if you have carpal tunnel or anything like that where you struggle, you know, to squeeze things, that is a game changer. So let me grab, I got some of my yarn here. Let me grab it and cut it in half, and we'll go ahead and string at the top. And then I just, you know, sort of guesstimate how long I want it to be, and then I hold it and cut my ends. Okay, so I know I have all my ends. I'm just going to feed them through the back. And then I'm going to grab the ends and pull them up through the loop and pull, and I missed one because, you know, that's always what's going to happen. So let me pull it out again. You reach in there, and did it go through? Nope, it didn't even go through the hole. That's probably the problem. Okay. And that's the one thing, is making sure all of your little yarn ends go through the hole. Because if they don't go through the hole, then you can't really tie them down by looping them. Okay, let's see. Did I get them all through? Yep, all through. Okay. And then I just sort of pull it up through my loop. Pull all the little yarns in my loop over. And then pull it, and then I've got my little yarns at the butt. So let me do this one. And again, I just fold it in half until I get them, you know, where I know it's about as tall as I need it to be, and then just cut my yarns. So yeah, I mean, there's a lot of things, like, I mean, I got these tags and was sort of like, oh, those are really cute, you know, and I don't, you know, you don't want to take away from the original artist, you know, and so, like, where did I do it with the tag? I mean, you know, the stamping is still on there, her painting of the gesso, you can still see a very large amount of the original artwork. So I still feel like, you know, there's a part of her in there, you know, that she put in there. So I'm not really taking away from there. Okay, so we have that. So let's see, we did that over here. Let's pull out some cheesecloth. Maybe use some cheesecloth this time. I'm just going to cut a little piece for that one. And let's see, what do we want to do for, maybe we'll do one sort of plain. Well, that's what we'll do. Okay, so I've got some cheesecloth. Let me go ahead and glue my cheesecloth down. And, you know, just randomly pick where you want. What I sort of was doing is trying to avoid, you know, trying to put it where there's more of a plain area, you know, so the stamping and stuff's there. So I'm going to just put it up here. So, you know, a lot of that greenery is still there since we're working on a nature journal, and I don't like that straight edge on the edge. So, just put that there. And that's fine. We'll just leave that there for right now. Then, let's see. What do we want to use? I have some butterflies. I'm not sure. Let's go through my florals and see if I can. I know I have some smaller ones in here. Or, ooh, that one might be really nice. I think I want something with a little bit of green. Let's see what we have. That's too much. Too big, too much. Ooh, what about this purple down here? That would be pretty. Oh yeah, I love that purple with the green. It's just purple and green just go together. Okay. So, let's put a little blue on the back of this. And again, you know, you can just, you know, randomly use whatever you have. If you have stickers, like I know like the Dollar Tree does some really pretty stickers, you know, use those. You know, you can use whatever you got. So see, that's sort of simple. There's not a whole lot to that. Let me trim this down just a wee bit. You know, there's not a whole lot to that, but it adds just a touch. And you know, it does give it that extra layer, I think. Let me reach in my box over here and see. Yep, I do. Actually, I think I'm going to run a little bit of lace across the bottom. Just a random strip of lace across there just to add a little bit more. But again, you're still going to be able to see lots of that stamping, the coloring, the inking, you know, the gesso, the undertone of the gesso. So you're not really taking away from her natural artwork, which is what I like. I don't want to... Okay, let's just slide this across there. And this lace I coffee and tea dyed, it's from the Dollar Tree. And I used to see a lot of people crafting with it because, you know, if you can get a spool of lace for, especially like crocheted type, you know, that sort of doily edging look for $1, I mean, that's like super cheap. So I always check every time I go and I get how many of her rolls are there. Because my Dollar Tree goes through stuff like that really fast. So yeah, a little bit of lace, you know, that little purple up there, and it sort of brings it. So let's do this one. And this one we're going to do sort of plain. I have, let me find them. And I got these, I think, these actually came from Wish. I know different places have, you know, but these are vellum stickers. Of course, I don't want anything that big. That's ungodly big. No, no, no. Nothing that big. I think that big. I sort of like that one. Let me put that up to the side. I really like that too. That sort of matches. I think we'll use that because it matches. And you know, this has all kinds of animals, and hold on a minute, I'll show it up, I'll hold it up. So, and I think I paid $1 for this pack of vellum stickers, and like I said, they're from Wish, you know, so enter at your own risk. That's what I'll say. You know, I've had, you know, good luck with most things, but you know, there's been a couple things that have been, oh, I don't know, I sort of like that too though. No, I want the one that goes, because I'm going to wrap it around on the back. So let me see if I can hold it up. So this is like the designs that come in there. So, and I think you get, I'm just trying to see if it, I thought it said when I didn't say, but there's 2 of each sticker. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. So there's 20 stickers in here. So there was 40 stickers in this pack when it came. So, and then they're vellum, so they just fold and the worst part is getting them off the plastic. Which is probably easier if you have fingernails, which, you know, we don't want to talk about fingernails. My fingernails come and go depending on what the mood is. Sometimes they'll be there and sometimes they won't. Okay. Bad habit from childhood. Okay, so this, and I actually want to lay mine where it'll be on here on the front. But at the same time, I want to sort of lay some onto the back, just to sort of give a little bit of decoration onto the back. And again, this is brown, so. Okay, so let me, I'm just going to trim the little side up here. Trim the little edge up so it's wrapped around and stuck down. And then this little edge, I'll just come over here and stick it in the corner since it was a corner one. Fold that up. Okay, and then I'm going to grab my ink and ink around my edges again where that sticker is, because so I mean, you can do different things, like see, okay, there's the basic one with just the brown sticker, but it does give it a little bit of added dimension. There's one with the lace and the purple. I love that purple, looks so good with the green. And then there's the butterfly. So there's that. Those 3 repurposed. Okay, then there's some things I'm not going to repurpose. Like this, I'm going to use in my little pages that has the frog with its little tongue sticking out, just because it's very childish to me. It looks like a children's storybook. So I'm going to turn this into a little notebook. I'm going to do about 3 pages. The first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to cut the St. Jude's off, which I know St. Jude's is awesome. They do so much for children. Okay. Then I'm going to, let me find, yes, there it is. I just have, this is just one of my index cards. That I teed and coffee dyed, and I'm going to trim this down so it fits my notepad. Okay. I'm going to take this little strip right here, put it right across here. Like that. Okay, then I'm going to grab my Tim Holtz tiny attacher. Let me get this all evened up here, and let me ink it up real fast, because if I don't, afterwards I'll be like, oh, I should have inked the bottom. Okay, so grab your little index card. And then you're just going to put this, I'm just going to do enough that it attaches it, but where you could easily pull it off if you want to. Then, because I'm goofy, I'm going to put a little, not that much, a little bit of glue across the top. I'm going to put my tea-dyed paper across the top, just as sort of a little topper. I think it sort of adds to it. And if you need to trim it up a little bit, that's fine, because, you know. And then just ink it up because it's on the edge. And I ink up around the edge of my little notepad, because it sort of gives it that vintage feel. And with this being white, you could even very lightly, I'm not pushing, I'm just gliding it across. And it sort of, you know, gives it a little bit of a grungy look. If you're worried, you know, if I just sort of grunge it up. Just taking away a little bit of that stark white. Then making sure, now I'm not applying any pressure. I'm literally just letting it glide across the paper. There we go. So there we have a little notepad that can go in our pocket that, you know, we'll give you a couple little sheets. And that'll look so cute in our little pocket with the frog. So there's that. So again, you know, we're talking about repurposing. Here is a card. It's got some flowers. I loved it because it had the little pears. And, you know, we have pears are all over and with the oranges, so I thought it would go really good in here. It says, "The Lord brought you to mind today." So what I'm going to do first is I'm going to hold this, and this is a circle punch. This is a 1 1/4. I'm just going to sort of try to center my card in there, and I'm just going to punch a little edge out like that. Okay. Then I'm just going to ink up around the edges, and then we'll make this a floating pocket. And yes, we're going to take care of that. And then because it's as stark white as it is, I'm sort of going to just glide my blender across it. I'm going to do the same thing on the front because I just sort of like it having that antique-y look. Okay, so now I'm going to reach in here. I'm going to just grab a scrap piece of paper. Let me turn it over this way. I'm just going to line it up along the edge. I'm going to sides of my card. And, you know, a lot of times you can find little cards like this at the Dollar Tree or whatever for $1, and you get like 10 of them, especially if you get a really pretty design on it. You can make little floating pockets you can put in with everything. So I'm actually going to trim this. I'm going to ink this, but I only need to ink 3 sides. If you're OCD or, you know, just one of those people who, my husband would have to ink all 4 sides because, you know, just that undone part would just drive him crazy knowing that one side of it wasn't inked. Where I'm like, oh, if I don't need to ink it, I'm not inking it. Okay, so we'll glue that. I'm going to pull out my glitter glue too. So I'm just going to grab that. I'm going to lay that up against that top edge and glue it down. And, you know, if we have to trim it, it's not a big deal. Okay, then I like using my little precision tip because I can just take it here, run it right along the bottom edge of that. And I don't have to worry about, you know, you could use glue stick for this or anything. The one thing to be is make sure you don't put a lot of glue down here. Because if you do and you go to put through, then you're going to glue yourself in. And I'm going to trim up the edge. Okay. So there we've got that sort of decorated. So I'm going to go back through and ink the top. Just give it a little color. There we go. So that gives us a little pocket there. So now I'm just going to go through. I'm going to ink. I'm not going to ink. I'm going to glue the bottom and up the side, and you could use double-sided adhesive for that too if you didn't want to use a liquid glue. That's totally up to you. Okay, So we've got that, and then what I like to do, let me find, I'll just get a little scrap piece here. I'm going to pull out a little scrap piece of my coffee dyed paper. I really like that side. And I'm just going to glue along the back. And we're just going to glue this down to the coffee dyed paper. That's going to give us coffee dyed on the back. And what we'll do is, I really like floating pockets. So we will, let me get this here and I'll show you. Because I like doing, you know, things a little different. And I love doing tip-ins and stuff like that on journals. So let me ink this up. And hopefully I'm still in camera here. I tend to glide off back, you guys. I'm sorry. I don't know why. I think because I work close. Well, I don't think it helps. I'm 5'4", so I have these little dinky arms anyway, but okay. So there's that. I sort of burnish that down pretty good. Okay, and then I'm just going to take this scrap piece from the other half I had, and this is, you guys have seen me play with my ticket punch before, and I'm going to punch out 2 little tickets out of my tea coffee dyed paper. No, that one came out a little rough because I hit where the, do it on the non-fold side. I got it where the fold was, so it, really? I don't know if this is just isn't heavy enough. Let me find paper a little heavier that we can use. You know what? Let's just use this. Let's glue this down and double this over. Because sometimes it wants, you know, it's used to like cutting cardstock. It's made for thick things, so okay. So now let's try. Though we've made it a little thicker. Straight through. Straight through without a problem. My paper just wasn't thick enough, but we'll just have added extra support. Okay, let me get something on the side of that. I think it's where I tea and coffee dyed. And it pays to take care of your punches because they'll last a really, really long time. I love Fiskars. I have really good luck with them. Okay, so now I'm going to ink up all 4 sides. Okay, then I'm going to come on to my back here. And I gotta do, okay. I'm gonna fold it in half. I'm gonna fold both of them in half. Okay. Then the non-inked side, I'm going to glue on the right hand side of the non-inked side. And flip it over. And I'm going to line it up where it's folded right along the edge of my card. And again, I'm going to get the uninked side, put my glue on the right hand side of the uninked side. Now, if you're going to do it on the other side of your page, then you need to put it on the other side. So it just depends on, you know, what you're planning on doing with it. And I'm going to guesstimate about where I need to put it so my little things are even. And again, glue, burnish them down really well. Just straighten them out where they're not all uneven. Okay, and we've got little hinges on there so we can attach it onto a page, and that'll fold right into the page, and we can make something to put down in here. So that is easy. Let's, let me get rid of all these little scraps I've got everywhere. Okay. You know what? Here we've got some scraps. I've got some scraps. So I'm going to just trim this up. Okay. So I've trimmed this up. It's sort of raggedy on one end, but I'm not really going to worry about that. I do need to check my height. And if I want to fold it, I want to keep the raggedy part on there because I sort of like that. So I'm actually, instead of cutting it off, which, you know, probably would be the first thought, I'm just going to fold it sort of in a Z fold. And I'll burnish it down. I'm going to trim this side up so it's all even. And just a little bit more. And the other side is already even, so let me put this away. So I'm going to ink this up. And I know this is a little different because, you know, we've been doing the, you know, all the Mirabella digitals and stuff. But, you know, a lot of times, a lot of these things people may just have laying around. I mean, you get St. Jude children's stuff in the mail all the time, at least we do. I don't know if you do where you're at, or, you know, you may get Disabled American Vets, or, I mean, there's a ton of different places that send out your insurance places. You know, there's a ton of places that do little notepads. You know, the dollar stores does the little cards. You know, you can make the little tags. If you haven't received any Happy Mail, you can make them. You can make the little top any way you want to. Okay, so I'm just going to fold that up like that. And then I'm going to come over here. And I'm going to grab my little gooby paper I've been trimming off of. And tell you what, we're going to trim this right here, since it sort of has a little fruit of some sort. And let's trim this off even, or at least as close to even as a guesstimate cut does. We're going to ink it around. Okay. I wish that had been printed, but it's okay. We'll do it that way. We'll just put it in half. Then I'm going to put some glue on one half of, oh well, you need to put glue on both halves of it actually, because it's going to glue to the front and the back. And we'll just put that on there on top and just leave some of it stuck up for a pull tab, right like that. Open your little pocket, and voila, you've got a little insert in there. Now, you know, this has the Lord brought you to mind today. If you didn't like that, you know, you could put something over top of that. You know, that's, you could, you know, literally make that a journaling spot if you wanted to. If you didn't want, you know, any words on it, like, here, I'll show you. Because you may buy a, you know, like a pack of cards, like your Goodwill or your thrift store, you know, and they may have like In Sympathy, but they've got really gorgeous pictures. Well, you know, nobody wants to throw a card in somebody's journal that has In Sympathy on it, or in your own journal even. I mean, it's bad enough when you have to deal with that when it, you know, it's the real thing, let alone, you know, just because, you know, well, I got this on sale, so, you know. So let's just show you how you can just do this like this. And we've inked around the thing, so it just sort of creates this little center panel. You know, sort of helps if you put it in there even. So, you know, now you've got a little journaling spot on the front. Or you could, you know, we could turn around and we could stamp on there. Or, you know, use one of our little stickers here if you wanted to. But I'll just leave it like that to put in there and people can write whatever they want. But, yeah, you could take your little stamp and, you know, stamp nature on it or whatever you want. So, there's that. Let me check the timing. Oh, we're doing okay. Okay. So then, let's see. This was already done. I'm going to go ahead and include it, but I will, I was pretty sure, there's my roller. Okay. I will do measure and tell you. This was a piece of paper that was, okay, this was a 12-inch piece of scrapbook paper, and it is cut to 2 3/4 inch wide, and they've folded it at 5 6/8 and 3/4 inch. But I mean, you could do this any way you want to, but they've just folded it. So this was just decorative scrapbook paper. They've put a vellum sticker on here, and this was Happy Mail that I got. And then they've put a lace trim here. That's all that they've done. But I got the envelope and it was completely empty. So all I did was took coffee dyed paper, cut it with my pinking shears, ink the sides, and then again took a piece of this, cut it in a rectangle. I pinking sheared the ends, folded it in half, and stapled it with my Tim Holtz tiny attacher to create a journaling spot. Now we can up the game here. That's got a bird on the outside, so let's see. I think I have these little sticker stamps that I bought. Again, these came from Wish. Some people buy stuff from there, some people don't. So I mean, it just sort of depends on what. There's a little squirrel. Yeah, that one's sort of nice. Let's see. Yeah, there's a mushroom. We haven't did a lot of mushroom things. Let's do a mushroom. Okay. Yep. Ooh. I got like the red whole little conglomerate of mushrooms there. Ooh, there's a bee though. Ooh. Like bees. Tell you, if you want to study something completely awesome, study about bees. They are just phenomenal. I didn't know a whole lot about bees or anything until we got our beehives, and they're just amazing. So, and these are, I mean, there's like mushrooms and flowers and animals and all kinds of stuff in there. It's just a conglomerate. And I think, oh, there's another one sliding out the back. I think there was 40 in here, but it just comes in this cute little box. I got those. I also got this set, and they're complete. They're only botanicals. So, but they were just ones that I found, and they're sticky backed. So you just got to pull the backing off, and but I'm going to ink around my edges before I do that, because everything's better when you ink it. And then we'll put this down there, and then this will just slide down inside that, and we can just put it in any journaling spot. There we go. And see, with inking it around, it sort of gave it that greenish look, which sort of goes with the green at the top, which sort of blends with the whole thing. So then it just slides down in there. And they've just did this, and then their circle punch they've used has been a 3/4 inch circle, it looks like. And then it just folds up, so that'll tuck in. So we've got that. Then I have this card with the flowers on it, and I absolutely love it. So I gotta find a piece of paper. We're gonna do that. Let me see if this is wide enough. I don't know what that deal is. Where it's stuck together. Yeah, we can do that. Let me go ahead and ink this up and glue it. That's why my fingers are always covered with glue. But yeah, so I mean, there's lots of things you can repurpose and use. And these again are just little, like, you know, the little blank note cards you get from the Dollar Tree. And I mean, you could stick that in there just like it was. And I'm going to stick it in there as a card that you can open up and use as a journaling spot. But I wanted to cover the back because I don't like the UPC code and all that. I think it takes away sort of from the prettiness of the journal, or the, you know, sort of the vintagey look. I just don't. That's just, I guess it's one of my things. And then we'll ink up around the edges, because I always ink, even on something like this. And then I'll ink up the back, and then, and see, this has got that faded muted spot where that other page was stuck when I baked it, which I absolutely love because it makes it look like it's like been through like water damage or something in somebody's basement. And then I will ink up on the inside. Now I could go through and cover this with, I could cover it with coffee dyed paper, but I don't want to. I'm just going to leave it white. I'm just going to ink around here a little bit, and then I'm going to fold it open. Ink my sponge up, and then I'm just going to glide my sponge over it. Now you could use your makeup brush for this if you wanted. You could stencil inside of it, but I'm just going to sort of take away that stark whiteness, so it comes out like that. So let me glue that top little corner, it didn't get stuck down. And you'll have to check that, I mean, especially along your edge, because that's going to be the part that's going to come undone, if any part will. Okay. So, I mean, that one wasn't easy. And I mean, we could put a little sticker on the inside if you want to. Let's use one of the Tim Holtz die cuts. I know there was the one that sort of looked like a daisy looking flower, if I can find it now. Of course, when you're looking for us, when you never can find it, you know. Okay, and again, these are the Tim Holtz Botanical, part of the ideology line. It's the layers. Okay, let me ink around the edge. And yes, this is really large, but is almost the same. So I'm just going to put it over here, which will leave this side for journaling. And the back you can journal on. So there'll be lots of space still. But it sort of just adds a little bit of something. Let me cut a piece of my doily here. And yes, I just randomly cut it. I don't really pay attention to it. I know I probably should, but I sort of like the randomness of it. Let me make sure. Am I in where you guys can see? I'm sorry if I'm like way off the table over here, guys. I need to work on that or move my camera, I guess. I'm just going to use some Fabri-Tac on here too, just in case, because of that doily. Although the art glitter glue would probably hold it, I just put that up there so it sort of looks like it's. I wish I had a little jug. It would be perfect there. Almost looks like it's sitting on a little doily or on a little tablecloth type thing. Where is, okay. Let me find my scissors. I had an idea. No. I thought it might work, but it isn't. So we'll just leave it the way that it is. It's fine. I think it'll be fine. Let's see. I do think I will put this little piece of this is a piece of a different kind of an actual crochet doily, where the other one is almost like it's from the Dollar General, like it's sewed on a machine, you know, like. So I'll just put that across the bottom, just because I think that sort of takes away from the bottom a little bit. I'm going to pause. I'm going to grab one thing and I will be right back. Okay, I am back. I grabbed my watercolor brushes. I thought I would go in and maybe add a little yellow to the centers so it sort of matches the front. And not a lot, just if it'll take it. I'm not sure it may fade some. Okay. And then with the green, I'm just going to lightly hit. Just to sort of give it a green look, although this green is a lot brighter than probably what I would have liked. But I think most of it will fade, but it'll just give it that sort of look, light green, and hopefully it won't stay to the top. And then I don't have a gold, so I guess I'll use black. I'm going to take black of my water and just sort of go across this doily and sort of darken it up a little bit. Just so it has more of a sort of changes the tone. And this is a pink. I'm going to go over with the pink a little bit. Again, just trying to add a little color in there. Sort of giving these sort of a pink type daisy color. As you can tell, it's sort of just disappearing. And then that'll set towards the top. So I'm going to get somewhere. This is just like a reusable towel. I want to make sure it's not gonna, you know, leak too much onto the rest of the page. And some of the places where it's darker, I'm gonna try to sort of just see if I can smear it out as I dry it, sort of giving it more of a sponged look, I guess. And do the same thing with the yellow. Just trying to make sure it's not all gooby where when I shut it, it's gonna leak onto the other page. And that sort of gives us, by blending it, sort of gave it like a purple look. So, I'm not sure about that, but we'll go with it now. And if I decide to change it later, I will. But by doing that, that dried that, so it's not gonna leak. So there's that. And again, this is my $5 watercolor brush markers I got at a store called Five Below. They have a website. You can look and sort of check to see if they have one in your area. They have a lot of low-cost art supplies that, like, really work. Yeah, well, I just stopped up my art glitter glue. Okay, so I have these little bird houses I'm just going to tuck because, I mean, there's just really not a lot to do with those. I have this bird coaster I'm going to use just because I thought that would be cute to throw in. And then these I'm just going to fold mostly into thirds, probably. And just sort of tuck. They're just like pieces of note paper with designs on them that are very naturey. Like that one's got, "You're a special friend." But that would be cute. May you have enough happiness to keep you sweet, enough trials to keep you strong, enough sorrow to keep you human, enough hope to keep you happy, enough failure to keep you humble, enough success to keep you eager, enough friends to give you comfort, enough faith to banish depression, and enough determination to make each day better than yesterday. So I thought that would be really cute. And, you know, it's got that really pretty naturey feel to it. So I'm just, you know, folding these in different, all different widths. This one I want to keep pretty big. I'll try to fold it in half. See, it's got a little bird on it. And then I have this. Actually, I thought I had several of these. I think I pulled several. I just got them. They're not here, but they've got the leaf on them and stuff like that. So I'm just going to fold it in half. Okay, so I put this to the side. Let me see what we've got going on. Okay, so we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. These go together. I'm just going to staple these at the top. You know what? We'll just loop these together with a little bit of our eyelash trim. There we go. And then I'll just hold that together. So let's see, we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. Let me pause and grab the other 2 of these I've got, and we'll have just enough to add 5 in each binder. Okay, so I have these, so let me fold these, and we will have just enough to add 5 things to each signature, which I think is gonna pretty much fill us up. So I'm gonna, okay, so I know one of those goes in each one. Okay, then 1, 2, 3. We'll do it that way. Okay. Then a little notepad. There's a piece of paper. It's a journaling spot. A pocket. A pocket. Put the bird tag there. And a tag. A tag. And a tag. Okay. So, let's see which one is this. Make sure this is, yep, this is the one that's got the little frog. So let's go ahead and put, let me find the little frog. Let's go ahead and put that little booklet in there, and see the little frog will go right in there with the frog, which is so cute. Okay, let's see what we've got on. We've got this back here, so let's put that in there. Let's check and see what else we've got going on. That's too big in there, so maybe tuck the tag in there with that. That green goes together really good. So let's see what else we have. The frog, we've got our notebook. That's what adds some color there. And we can move stuff around as we come back around. We've got our insert in our envelope already, so it's taken care of. We have this. Let's see, that's our guest check. This is here. Let's see what else. We have any other. We have a little ATC card up here. And let's see what. Okay, so we've got stuff in all of these pockets. Oh, except that one. There we go. So I would say that one's pretty good. You know, we may later on, you know, find a different little tuck to put in there or whatever, we'll see. Okay, so that's taken care of. Okay, this needs something. That looks like it would go right there. Let's go back through. We may come back to there. These are little hidden tucks, but I'm not gonna put anything in there until I make sure. Let's see, there's our envelope. Put that there. That's there, but we could put our little card behind that with that. Sort of just add a little filler. let's see. And we've got this back here. So let's put this right there. We can put our little tag right there. So that's back there. So we have this little one right here. I think I'll put right here, and I'll leave those little hidden ones in there because of being the notebook paper. They're, even though they're pockets, you know, I would want to put something in there a little firmer. Like this tag would slide in there okay. But that doesn't really bother me because you have journaling on the back too. So I think that's okay. Let's see. Is this, did we do this one? Or, hold on, I'm trying to figure out which ones we did and which we didn't do. I think we did this one, right? Yes. Okay, so I have this one left. And it already has the envelope in there, so there's a little extra in there. So let's sort of flip through here and just see what's left with nothing in it. Okay, that needs something. And that's good there. This could have that tucked behind it, just to add a little color to the page. Let's see. Here we have this. That most definitely can go in there. Let's see what else. I have that here. I actually do have another, you know what, I'm going to put that there. Let's put this in here with this. Here was another one, just an extra that I had, and I'll tell you what this is. This is a 12-inch piece, and they've just, you know, folded it up and then folded it over. Put a piece of lace across there, cut a larger circle and a smaller circle, glued half of it down, put a sticker. This is just a piece of chipboard with gesso over it. They've stamped and then went over with black marker, and then there's just a tiny bit of a doily, a little bit of lace, and a little bit of decorated paper, and it just tucks in there and closes. So that's it. So I'll put that in. That will fit in there perfectly. And then we do have the little stuff back here. You know what? Let's put this here. Like here, let's try to slide this in here if it'll go. Yep. Okay, so just move these around. Put this that way. You know, I think I put that. That's okay. And then this can go right there. That adds to that. And then now we have a page over here. I'm going to put glue on my little tabs. Again, I'm trying to make sure. I'm just putting glue on my little tabs. And they're down. I'm just going to line this up. Let's put it in the middle of the page. I'm going to line it up, my little tabs up with the edge of my page. I'm just going to sort of hold them and let them secure themselves, adhere really well. Open it up, burnish them down really good, and then we've got our little flip pocket on that page. So I think that's good. So I really think the next part will be building our cover, and then we'll decorate our cover, and we are good to go. I mean, because, you know, they're, with everything in there, they're really starting to get packed. You know, and I'm doing a nice big journal. So some little dangles on the side and all kinds of stuff. So it's coming along really well. I hope you guys are enjoying it. Again, I think my camera slid again. I think it keeps sliding. I need to get it adjusted. So I hope you guys enjoyed, you know, sort of the revamping of, you know, all of the other things. Because, I mean, you may not have a printer to do digitals, but that lets you even have an idea of, you know, how you can sort of revamp those basic items you may have laying around your house. So our journal is coming along, and I will be back next with our cover and doing our cover, and then a video with decorating our cover, and you guys, we will be done. I mean, it is right around the corner. So have a great day, and I will see you next time. Remember to like, comment, subscribe. Thanks for watching. Bye.